Gingras. Down into 1 and 2. Perry with the advantage. Gingras going to have to battle back. She had a podium finish on her wedding day here. Got her work cut out for her now. Perry into 3 and 4. Final time. Checkered flag. The newlyweds made on the outside, trying to battle back. Into 3 and 4. And try a crossover. On. At the strike. DeRoziers up top. Bradstreet down low. DeRoziers gets a little loose there. He's going to have to battle back. Bradstreet off turn 2 down the backstretch. Bradstreet with the advantage. Bradstreet gonna move. Hello on the low line. Williams up high. Flag in the air down into 1 and 2. Mello jumps out to the advantage. Williams gonna have to battle back. Gets ahead of Steam and Juke. Not sure it's gonna be enough time. He'll try a crossover move. Mello gets a little loose. But Mello holds on and moves on. Up against Tom Kazunas from Wakefield, Rhode Island. 1984 Chevy C10. Kazunas. Smith up top. Green is out, down into 1 and 2. Smith, smooth sailing, down the backstretch, into 3 and 4. Jared Smith looking to move on. Off turn 4, Jared Smith gonna move on. Green flag in the air, down into 1 and 2. Joseph with the advantage, wicket back. Gonna spin it over in 3 and moves it. Andrew Joseph gonna move on. At the stripe. Set to go. Green flag in the air. Silva gets the early jump. Off turn 4. Off turn 2. Down the backstretch. Silva leading the way into 3 and 4. Off turn 4, Steve Bowden waves the checkered flag. Jay Silva gonna move on. Stripe. The green flag in the air. Monahan down low. Johnny Turbo up top. Into 1 and 2. The advantage to Monahan right now. Off turn 4, Monahan with the advantage. And he's gonna move on. Curtis gonna choose the high line. Warren, the low line. Green flag in the air. Number 1. Paul Curtis gets an early jump. Works off turn number 2. Down the backstretch into 3 and 4. Paul Curtis sees the checkered flag. He'll move on. Fitzgerald with the high line, Jutras with the low line. Fitzgerald gets an early jump. Here comes Jutras battling back on the low line. Off turn number 2, Jutras with the nose advantage, heading into 3 and 4. Jutras holding on. Fitzgerald. Across the strike, Jutras holds on to it, gets a little loose off 4. Jutra's gonna move on. From Berkeley, Mass. Matt Barrows. Flexing his Ford Flex 2012. Green flag in the air. Medeiros on the high line. Barrows down low. Medeiros gets a good jump off turn 2 into 3 and 4. David Medeiros smoking the tires, comes off 4 a little gingerly. Checkered flag in the air. Madeiro's going to move on. Madeiro with the high line. Garaga. Oliveira up top. Comes off turn number 2. Garaga. Got his hands full. All over it. Dive bombs him into 3 and 4. A valiant effort, but Michael Oliveira in Pontiac Fiero, 1987, and Craig Winicki from Wareham. His red Nissan, green flag in the air. Diaz gets the early jump. Off turn 2, down the back stretch, into 3 and 4. Diaz leading the way. Off turn 4, checkered flag. Diaz gonna move on. Johnson down low, Stevenson up top. Down into turn number 1, Johnson with the advantage. Off turn 2, down the back stretch they come. Johnson leading Stevenson. Johnson's going to get a little bit loose. Holds on to it. Jonathan Johnson going to move on. Bradley. Gallant at the stripe. Green flag in the air. Down into turn number 1. Bradley gets a great jump. He's going to smooth sail it down the back stretch. Into 3 and 4. Checkered flag. Waving. Bradley moves on to round number 2.
Eric's car was
At the stripe and set to go. Perry. Down into turn 1. Perry with the advantage. Here comes Fielding on the high line with a head of steam. Looking into 3 and 4. Perry holding on. Fielding and spinning. Gonna move on. At the stripe, set to go. Green flag in the air. Bradstreet gets the early jump. Carlito Mello gonna work his way back. Does he have enough time? Down the back stretch. Bradstreet leading. Mello dive bombs. Turn number 3. Does he get it? Bradstreet's gonna knock off the 2024 East Coast Towing and Recovery Spectator Drag Champion. Looks like Carlito Mello. Set. Andrew Joseph. Jared Smith. Green flag in the air down to turn 1 and 2. Working. Off turn 2. Smith with the advantage. Into 3 and 4. Jared Smith. Off turn 4. Checkered flag wins. Jared Smith will move on. At the stripe. Green flag in the air. Down into 1 and 2. Silva with the advantage over Monahan. Silva looking to knock Monahan off here. What would be a surprise? Silva works up the track. Monahan opens the door. Monahan at the stripe. Can he get him? Liam Monahan waited until the final moments, crossing the stripe, knocks off Jay Silva, and will move on. Paul Curtis, Josh Jutras. Jutras in the 92 Camaro. Green is out. They work down into 1 and 2, door to door. Off turn 2, down the back stretch. Curtis opens up the nose advantage. Into 3 and 4, Jutras smoking the rear tires. Paul Curtis gonna move on.
Well, that's not the tires he was smoking.
No, it is not. And our next matchup, David Madeiro. Michael Oliveira. 1988 Camaro. Down into 1 and 2. Madeiro's and Oliveira with the advantage. Into 3 and 4. Oliveira knocks off Medeiros. At the stripe, set to go. Green flag in the air. Down into 1. Diaz gets the early jump. Johnson gonna battle back on the high line. Off turn 2. Johnson with a head of steam takes the lead into 3 and 4. Diaz just gonna have to hold on. Checker flag. Johnson gonna move on. Spectator drags all 2025, getting ever so close to that win. Bradstreet with the advantage, down into 1 and 2. Smith gonna have to work back, down the backstretch, into 3 and 4 with a head of steam. Smith right there. Off turn 4, here they come. Jared Smith waited and got it. Paul Curtis, the 64 Chevelle, green flag in the air. Here they go, down into turn number 1. Nose to nose, door to door. Off 4, off 2, down into 3 and 4. Monahan with the advantage and tries to slam the door on Curtis. Monahan gonna move on. Medeiros and Johnson. Down into 1 and 2. Johnson leading the way into 3 and 4. Smooth sailing on board. Johnson gonna move on. Perry matching up here with Jared Smith. Jared Smith gets a little loose in the middle of 1 and 2. Down the backstretch, into 3 and 4. Jared Smith, on turn 4. So, Corey Perry will battle Liam Monahan out there, matching up against Jonathan Johnson. We know Jared Smith is going to the finale. Green flag is out. Johnson up top. Monahan down low. Into 1 and 2. Down the backstretch. Door to door. Nose to nose. Into 3 and 4. Johnson jumps up to the advantage. Is Monahan having a Jonathan Johnson. Jared Smith gonna battle for the trophy here tonight. But first, Liam Monahan gonna battle for a podium finish. Perry on the low line. Monahan. Matchup, Perry jumps out to the advantage, down the backstretch, into 3 and 4. Corey Perry comes off turn. At the stripe. Green flag in the air. Down into 1 and 2. Johnson with the early advantage. Smith with a head of steam on the 2 down backstretch. Into 3 and 4. Johnson holding his own. Slams into it. Jonathan Johnson. Up 1-0. Johnson wins, it's over. Green flag is out. Count into 1 and 2. Smith with the advantage here. Johnson on the high line, gonna have to down back. Smith down into 3 and 4. Gets it loose. Doesn't have enough. Jonathan Johnson won the first one. Smith wins the second one. Winner take all right here. They'll switch lanes. The rubber match. For all the marbles, Jonathan Johnson. Jared Smith, green flag in the air, down into 1 and 2. It's a drag race. Advantage to Johnson.